Greetings, one and all, fellow Fatacasters, hello chaps and all of that. How the devil are you doing? It's Friday and we're gathered here again to imbibe some lubricant and just have a general kind of natter. Really, if you're new to the stream, that's pretty much all we do here. And as I say in all my videos, it's a cracking good way to kick off the weekend. So cheers everyone, let's all celebrate the fact that it's Friday. Usually these streams, I have no idea what's going to happen. I just rely upon you chaps in the chat, keeping me kind of feeding me the lines to do basically. But I've got nearly half a page of notes of stuff I want to talk about today. Of course, I'm going to have a little bit of a reminiscence about the dear departed Ozzy Osbourne. It's we can't not mark his passing and share a few reminiscences, but there's a couple of other things I want to talk about as well. But before we get into any of that, tradition demands that we head off over to the chat and see who was teacher's pet this week. First in, it was Dave Fiendish. And he says, hotter than the devil's ball bag here. Let's have a cold one. Cheers, me dears. Indeed. It's, it's been actually quite pleasant here today. There's been enough of a little breeze coming in off the sea to just make it bearable. But I'm in this room all day tomorrow from about 7:30 in the morning till, probably 6 o'clock. I'll knock off tomorrow night. And I know I'm going to be a sweaty, cranky, itchy, gnarly mess by the time I wrap up. Good job, I've got some coolant in the fridge. Anyway, Dave Fiendish. Then we have Theme Tunes and Anton. Terry Day is in, so is Ingrid. Paul Trainer and David James. I know Paul Trainer, regular as clockwork. Every week he chucks a couple of quid in the tip jar. Thank you so much, mate. You make a fat old man very happy. Then we've got Otto Geddon. Johnny Random is in, so is Stephen Polk, Jack Collins, Malcolm Spillett, Balder64. Yes, making the reference to Poets' Day. Yes, you either know about Poets' Day or you don't know about Poets' Day. Poets' Day stands for, I'm going to clean this up because, I don't do profanity on YouTube, if I can help it. But Poets' Day stands for push off early, tomorrow's Saturday. But the P can also stand for off something early, tomorrow's Saturday. You know what I'm saying. So, yes, I learned that one many, many years ago. Who else have we got? Did I say Malcolm Spillett? I think I did. We've got Mark Kerno, Rubbish Guitar Bloke, Chip Young, Francis Chambers, and we got Peter Collins, and who else have we got? There's Vincent Brennan, who's in a Dreich, Clyde Valley. I know the meaning of Dreich. I have a Scottish mother-in-law. It means you're not getting the sunshine, doesn't it, mate? Then who else we got? We've got Jack Collins and John Ross. Tom Clark is in. So is 60s Man, Chris Otterwell. Nathan is in. Got some Carlsberg export in for the occasion today, trying to match beer in the same way. Yes, Carlsberg export it is. Although I did today receive a rather nice present through the post. I'll tell you all about that. Well, I've got a couple of presents through the post I want to talk about. Grandpa Joe, as always, is giving my Patreon a plug. Hope you're all doing well. Today on John's Patreon, we got a look at John's new guitar. Consider joining. Along with musical perks, Tier 2 gives twice two Zoom chats a month with John and friends. Well, yeah, thank you, Joe. As I keep describing, I'm going to kind of get a little badge made up for you and call you my marketing executive. Thank you so much, mate. PFY Guitars is in, so is MW Card and Johnny D. There's session guitar legend Gary Shaw. Caltexpert is in. Jet Set 95, Ian Clark and Colin Falcon, they're all in as well. Robin Fawcett is there, so is, Vincent Brennan. You've got a Bernie LS38, that's getting delivered tomorrow. Nice one, mate. Frank Bolam is in, so is Peter Williamson. Peter Hall, guitar bass dude, is in, but he's probably going to lose us at some point because he's on a boat from Capri to Napoli, so you'll kind of lose the signal at some point, won't you, mate? Triple Distilled is there, so is Moon's Guitars, and who else have we got? Jimmy James, there's the man there. Rex-O-Matic, who's still up in the cool country of Whitefish, Montana, who's just printed off my blues book. How are you going to click on the links now then, Rex? That is the slight flaw in the plan there. But if you can live without the videos and the jam tracks, then I suppose you can make sense of my ramblings in the text of the book. We've got Austin Barrett and Victory House, who mentions, yes, I saw the trailer earlier. Spinal Tap 2 is coming in September. I saw the trailer this morning on YouTube, and the trailer looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm waiting with bated breath for that. It's it's the kind of doing it under the whole band reunion sort of shtick, when they get together for one last hurrah. Let's have a look, see who else we've got. Anyone else? Graham Campbell is there, as is Jeff Rock, Greg H, Cy Rollinson, the Essex Cat. Searching for Tone is in. Nice to see you, mate. Anyone else? Let's have a look. The Daler 22. Mr. Chris is in as well. And let's have a wee look. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's scroll down. We've got Bob Smith. We've got Tony Smith. Are you related? John Channing is there. And anyone else? There's Hawks. And I think that's pretty much everyone. Yes, it's been quite the eventful week, hasn't it? On Tuesday night, I was sat in here, blethering away into this very webcam. I was doing the Tier 2 Patreon Zoom chat that Joe mentioned earlier, and my phone pinged, and it was a text from the wife. She was downstairs, kind of multitasking, as they do. Does your missus kind of have a laptop or a phone? And, and they're watching TV, and they're also kind of taking part in something on FaceTube or Insta, Twitter, or whatever it is. Anyway, I digress. And the text message from the wife just said, Ozzy Osbourne's died. And I had to, when you read it and you understand it, but you've got to kind of read it again and again, just to kind of get to process it, basically. And I announced it to the chaps on the in the Zoom chat, and the reaction was, well, stunned silence. People were just, what? But it's true. Ozzy had shuffled off this mortal coil. And needless to say, it is a desperately, desperately sad time. Ozzy, as well as being a global phenomenon, a rock star, and dare I say it, even something of a national treasure. He was a husband, he was a father, he was a grandfather, and, celebrity families with more money than Solomon still feel the same grief that any of us would with such a bereavement. So it's a desperately, desperately sad time. And one of the things that I think we naturally do under such circumstances is we try and find some small ray of hope in there, something where we can kind of get some form of consolation. And I think maybe it's clutching at straws, but I'm going to say that, when he played that final concert and, he said to the crowd, you have no idea how I feel. He was in his hometown, and he knew that there was, however many thousand people in that stadium and however many people worldwide. He knew that he was loved and cherished by all of them. And then he left us. And there's a little part of me that thinks maybe after that, when you kind of reach that kind of pinnacle, that maybe he thought, okay, I can go now. Maybe. You know, it's certainly that there's no such thing as a good way to leave this world, but there are plenty of bad ways, and I can think of many worse ways that he could have ended up being. Where the body is still alive, but the person is gone, sat in a comfy chair by the sunny window with a tartan rug over his knees, waiting for matron to bring the soup, and not know who he was or what was going on around him. That would have been, I think, probably the worst of all ways for Ozzy or anyone to shuffle off this mortal coil. So, in his memory, let's raise a glass to the wild man of rock and roll, the Prince of Darkness, the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy. You'll be missed, mate. There. And that's all I'm going to say on the topic of Ozzy. I do not want to be one of these people that sort of try and, cash in and make kind of go for the click factor. I've said my piece and that's it. So let's see what your reaction is to that. I said we were going to have some reminiscences. Jimmy James is saying great timing for Ozzy just 2 weeks after Birmingham. Indeed. Austin Barrett, I did meet him once. Rexomatic is saying, just curious how many are planning on coming to Redcar in September. Looking forward to meeting you guys, drinking a few beers and talking about guitars. That is what will be going on. On that topic, actually, even if you've already emailed me to say, yes, I'll be there, I would appreciate it if you're coming to Redcar on the 19th of September to drink beer and eat curry. Could I encourage you or beseech you to send me an email to a new email account that I've set up specifically for this? Then all of the emails are in one place, and it's much easier for me to tally. The email address, I'm going to read it out now, and I'm going to put it in the chat, is Redcar Night Out, all one word, at yahoo.com. Redcar Night Out at yahoo.com. If you're coming to Redcar for the Redcarmageddon event, then let me know via that email address. I'll say it again, Redcar Night Out, all one word, not difficult to spell, not easy to misspell is what I'm trying to say. Redcar Night Out, all one word, at yahoo.com. Just ping me an email to that address there, then I can tally up how many people are coming and what sort of arrangements need to be made. If you could do that, that would be much appreciated. Anyway, I need to refill my flagon of ale, and then we've got something else to talk about. Namely, one of the regular things that I talk about, as in what's coming up on the channel this week. Oh, look at this. What a perfect pour. The perfect proportion of beer to head. Not at all anything that you'd want to stick a flake in. And you can't prove otherwise. Cheers, everyone. So, yes, let's tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday's video is a video that I thought I'd made. Let me grab it. This guitar. The vintage V6 reissued, very kindly sent to me by a chap in Northern Ireland called Jim. And as you can see, I did the original review video of this where it just had the 3 single coil pickups, but now it sports a Hot Reel style humbucker in the back end. And I was sure that I'd done a review of that guitar when I modded it, and I did, but only the review of that pickup. I didn't do the fully fledged review of the guitar with the new pickup and how it compares with the pickup. So basically, I'm reviewing a HSS Strat on Sunday. Then Monday is another one of the soloing lessons. I started off doing blues one week, rock the next, blues, then rock, then blues. But inevitably, blues and rock kind of do that, don't they? And these videos have tended to do that. I've still got plenty more of them in the pipeline. But it's basically, this whole thing that many people have a bit of an issue with, which is going between major and minor pentatonics. Major pentatonics for that nice kind of sweet country sound that it gives, and the minor pentatonic for the snarly, gristly, gnarly blues kind of thing, and how you go between them. So that's the subject of Monday's video. Tuesday is another one that's bound to get a reaction. It's a top 5 list, and you may recall that I put a community post up a little while ago asking you chaps to name your candidates for the most overrated guitar players. Famous guitarists who you just don't see what all the damn fuss is about, frankly. I did this recently with, the most overrated bands, according to you, and some people got, were clutching their pearls and moistening their tenor lady pads, and basically, kind of properly chucking the toys out of the pram, basically. That, I'm done with all this negativity, but that was one of my top performing videos that month, and my my monthly paycheck from YouTube was very much enhanced by that. So I'll take a few heckles from the comments section if it means that I can buy more beer. So that is, as voted for by you, the 5 most overrated guitar players in the pantheon of rock guitar. That's what's coming up on Tuesday. Then another pentatonic-themed video on Wednesday. Kind of how to stay in one spot on the neck and change key, basically, how to do that. Which I've done videos like this. They're all kind of riffing on the same thing, but basically, if you're new to that idea of kind of staying in one place, but kind of moving from one pentatonic scale to another pentatonic scale back and forth as the chords change, then that is what Wednesday's video is about. Then on Thursday, you're going to be seeing me building this, and not a Dumble. This was very kindly given to me by, well, you know who you are, Mr. Rexomatic. Yes, is it properly idiot proof? Is it can it get past these fists of ham and fingers of butter? Well, we'll see. Because you're going to see me building it on Thursday and giving you my first impressions of it. So that's what's coming up on the channel this week. Cheers, everyone. Beer. Now, do you remember that G&L Comanche guitar that was here for a little while? Still a couple of videos featuring that guitar to come out yet, by the way. But it was loaned to me by the esteemed Mr. Rob Bald there in the chat, Balder64 as he goes by, to make some videos with and maybe help get it sold. Well, it's sold, and it was collected today by Parcel Force, who are taking it to its new owner. And the deal was I would kind of sort out the postage and then Rob would reimburse me. But Rob's kind of been a good friend of this channel for ages. He's loaned me loads of guitars. He's bought me a slab of beer in the past as well. So I said, "Don't worry about it, Rob. I'll handle the postage. I'll put it through me books in the business, and it's just money that I can write off against tax." But he insisted. And he said he would pay me in the currency of my preference, which was more beer. So I've got not only the Carlsberg export sat in the fridge, of which there will be very little left by the end of the evening because it is tasting rather delicious on a warm day like today. But I've got another 2 cases of Budweiser, which surprisingly, it was surprisingly nice last time I had it when Rob sent me that slab before. It's rather tasty. Get it chilled down. It's 4.5%. Gets you where you want to go. What's wrong with it? I'm quite happy with that. Right. So yes, I've done the schedule for the week. We've kind of had some reminiscences about Ozzy. One more I'll give you. My first ever experience of Ozzy Osbourne. Does anyone in the UK remember the phenomenon of Pop X records? Do you remember those? The little corner shop at the end of the street that used to sell these X jukebox records, used 45s. And you needed that little kind of funny adapter to play them on your turntable, didn't you? And they were like, I don't know, 20 pence each or something like that. Well, it was round about the time I was starting to get into rock music. And, I'd discovered Rainbow by Since You've Been Gone and all night long. And I discovered Judas Priest with Living After Midnight. And I was kind of coming out of my 50s rock and roll obsession phase at the time, which was where I first came in musically. And the little shop on the corner had these Pop X records, and all the cool kids at school were talking about Ozzy Osbourne and this whiz-bang guitar player called Randy Rhoads. And so I bought for about 20 pence one of these little Pop X records, the single of Over the Mountain. And that was my first experience of hearing Ozzy Osbourne. And boom, mind blown. Just that riff from Over the Mountain, and Randy's guitar playing was like something I'd never ever heard. So that's how that's my Ozzy Osbourne origin story. That's how I kind of first discovered him. And yes, there you go. Anyway, yes, we were talking about gifts through the post. I had another gift as well this week, and didn't even hear the post box rattle. But when I went to the front door, I think I was taking the dog out. There was like a big jiffy bag there, and addressed to me, handwritten. And I thought, that feels like a book, and it was. It was this book, The Jim Burns Story. Some generous person has sent me a book about Jim Burns, the legendary founder of Burns Guitars. And I shall be making a video about this at some point, but, loads of lovely pictures in here, things like this. There we go. And, the thing about Burns Guitars is, and there's the, that one. The thing about Burns Guitars is that there is something inherently quintessentially English about them. The Burns Flight, remember that one? Inspired by Concorde, apparently. So I have no idea who sent me this book. There was no accompanying note in the book. There was no, kind of email in advance of me receiving it. Nothing. But someone has very, very kindly sent me this book, and I'm really going to enjoy delving into it. And as I say, I've done videos about guitar-themed books in the past, the Ultimate Guitar Book and the Guitar Handbook. So whoever you are who sent me this book, thank you so much. Megalock Gelly is saying, has JHS gone bankrupt or Vintage Guitars? No, they've not gone bankrupt, mate. The original founder of JHS, John Hornby Skews, stipulated in that in his will or something that when he was no longer here, when he died, that the company had to be sold off, and that was kind of legally binding in some sort of way. And now, so the company is being sold off, and that's what they're doing at the moment. They're searching around for a buyer. Let's have a look. I've neglected the chat for a little while, so let's dive back into there and see what you've all been blethering on about. Tony Smith was saying, was just listening to Over the Mountain today while we're mowing the lawn. Yes. Johnny D had a new guitar day this week, a Silver Sky. The colour I wanted came up pre-owned, 150 under the retail price, may as well be new. Now, that's it now. No more or one in, one out at least. Thanks for taking anti-gas meds. I've got to tell you, I've found the cure for gas. I found the cure for, is it gear acquisition syndrome or guitar acquisition syndrome? I'm not going to tell you what it is now because that would be a spoiler. It is coming up in an upcoming video. Bob Smith saw Sabbath at Monsters of Rock in '84, Donington. AC/DC headlining, superb gig. And Megalock Gelly is saying, how do you stop squeaky finger noises when playing at high volume? Hand damping isn't working. Lubricate your strings, mate. That's why so many players use fast fret. I use Dr. Duck's Axe Wax and String Lube. I don't know if you can see this, how kind of where the level is in that bottle. I've had this bottle of this stuff since lockdown. A little bit goes a very long way. You do get some people saying, oh, but it's got all kinds of petroleum products in it and everything, and it'll harm you. Well, it's never done me any harm. You used to be able to buy this in guitar shops, but, I had to kind of scrabble around on eBay for it. But it does stop all of that kind of finger string kind of squeaky scratchiness, if you're looking for that. Cal B and the Rocco Cat says, the Comanche playing Apache. You may very well think that. I couldn't possibly comment. You'll have to wait and see, mate. Let's have a wee look. Pablo Hank is saying, I initiated Slash as well. Love his music, but he's an overrated player from a technical viewpoint. You'll find out who the overrated guitarists are on Tuesday. Michael Purcell is saying, overrated bassists and drummers. Well, two that spring to mind are Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding. Chaz Chandler, when he was putting the Jimi Hendrix Experience together, was notoriously frugal, it has to be said. And I think he just went with the guys who were, willing to work for the least amount of money. But, maybe, I don't know. But there you go. But they would definitely be on my list, put it that way. Anyway, what else have we got to talk about? Oh, yes, I've spoken about the book. Now, chaps, it is it's coming up to that last part of the month, isn't it, when we're all sort of scrabbling down the back of the sofa for the spare pennies until payday arrives. Well, when payday does arrive, may I suggest that you treat yourself, because you really want to, really, don't you? If you are just looking for something to treat yourself with this month when payday comes around, there's the link to How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar by little old me. I said I was going to give this book a bit of a plug when I released it at the wrong time. It was like kind of the wrong end of the month when people are kind of broke. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a plug now. It's getting around to that sort of payday week of the month. So there you go. How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar. Basically, it does what it says on the tin. It takes you through absolutely everything you need to know, from grassroots basics of how to do hammer-ons and pull-offs and string bends, all the way through to, how to, navigate your way around the neck, note choices, how to know where the notes are on the fretboard, how to target the right notes, how to use pentatonic scales, how to use all of the modes. everything, literally everything that you need to know about playing melodic rock lead guitar. If you like Knopfler, if you like Gilmour, if you like Joe Walsh and Don Felder, if you like Carlos Santana, if you like all of those rock players that just have that innate sensibility for playing strong melodies and improvising strong melodies, then it's all in that book, right? I promise you, you will absolutely love it. And there's probably about a year's worth of tuition in that book. If you were going for lessons every week or every couple of weeks for a year, then you would be paying a lot more than you'd be paying for that book, but you'd be getting the same amount of information. And you get jam tracks, and you get tabs. The tabs are in Guitar Pro and PDF format. And you get video tutorials and demonstrations, all linked from the PDF that the book is in. And it's 75 quid. If you're a Patreon supporter, there is a discount code that you see at the bottom of all of my Patreon posts, so you can make use of that. Just use the same link, and if you're on Patreon, just use the discount code that's kind of as I say, in the at the bottom of all my Patreon posts. It's been a bit of a labour of love for me getting this book. I've done 3 now: Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, The Blues Guitar Bible, and How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar. Unless something seismic happens, that's it. That's the trilogy. I'm done now writing books. I may come up with some kind of deal later on where you can, like Beato does, where you'd get like some sort of package deal where there's kind of a discount if you buy all 3. But I haven't kind of nailed that one down yet. But if you're in a hurry, or even if you're not, even if you're just curious and you've got the other 2 books already, and you don't need the discount on all 3, go and grab that one. The link is, as I say, in the chat. And that's the shilling over with. Let's take a look at some guitar pictures that have been very kindly sent in by you chaps for me to peruse. I'm just waiting. Why is this not opening? I do beg your pardon. It's a JPEG. Open it with... Excuse me, I'm having technical difficulties here. I'll just go open with, and there we go. Right, it should be... Oh, have I just got a super chat there? Where are we? Here we go. So if John were to have his luthier build a Stratocaster, what would it be like? That might be a fun video. Well, stick around, mate, because there may just be a little bit of a guitar unveiling after we've had a look at some of your guitars. So let me just navigate to this. There we go. No, I need to be here first, don't I? Excuse me, I'm absolutely crap at this kind of stuff. Here we go. The first of this week's selection. This belongs to David Thompson, and it's his Harley Benton DC Custom, which it looks like he's put a Duesenberg trem on there. Funnily enough, I have a student, a chap called, I can't remember his name now. His name escapes me. Arthur, that's it. His name's Arthur, who has the exact same guitar, and he's done the exact same mod to it, and hasn't replaced the saddles or anything. Have we got roller saddles on it? Yes, we've got roller saddles on there by the looks of it. He hasn't bothered replacing those. And the tuning stability is still, reasonably good. You can do all the kind of Bigsby wobbles and stuff on it. You start playing Eruption, you're going to be in trouble, but, it stays in tune pretty well. Moving on, we've got another one from David Thompson. This is his Harley Benton Delta Blues Mini Jumbo. Lovely looking guitar, that. It's apart from the cutaway, which gives it away as a modern guitar, I suppose. Did old school kind of acoustics have cutaways? I don't think they did. But that looks like really, kind of old school Delta Blues, which is, I guess the clue is in the name. You could imagine, a picture of Robert Johnson playing a guitar looking like that, couldn't you? Then a guitar, another one from David Thompson. Dear me, mate, your lottery numbers have come up tonight, haven't they? I'd buy a ticket if I were you. This is his Yamaha Pacifica 311. Used to have one of these. Great guitar, but just never really bonded with it. I remember in my, shall we say, more financially restrained days, looking at pictures of this guitar and thinking there's somebody in the Yamaha factory that's designed a guitar for me. Humbucker at the bridge, big fat P90 single coil at the neck. Oh dear me, fixed bridge, tortoiseshell scratch plate. They know me. And then I got one and I was just a little bit, well, I don't know. It just felt a little bit soulless, but that was a me problem, not a Yamaha problem. I will fully admit that. But David obviously loves his, and I can see why, because it's just a lot of guitar for the money, it has to be said. Then a pair from Malcolm Spillett. Malcolm Spillett has got these two. What we got here? We've got a Gretsch, I think that's a Streamliner, and then an Epiphone Wildcat. You'd recognise that anywhere, wouldn't you? Instant 50s rockabilly cool there. If I owned one of those, I would have to grow a quiff if I could. I'd at least have to have a try, because it should be the law, really, shouldn't it? You can't play guitars that look like that without, some kind of Eddie Cochran or Brian Setzer kind of bouffant going on. Lovely guitars, mate. And then not two guitars, just one, but two shots of it. This comes from Pete, the caricaturist, the guy whose drawing of me you see in all of my thumbnails and various other places in the videos. This is his artist Telecaster, the one that John Cordy is absolutely in rhapsodies about every time he's making a video, it seems, at the moment. And well, understandably, why? Are they hand wound or custom wound? They're kind of premium pickups anyway. Alnico 5. You get in rosewood board, you get in locking tuners, you get in stainless steel frets. Absolutely stunning value for money. They're about 250 quid. If I hadn't just had a rather chunky outlay for a new guitar, I would be all over that like a cheap rash. So yes, lovely guitar, Pete. And then here's one from Stephen Hedger. This is his modded 60s Classic Vibe Strat, and there is a typo here, so I'll embarrass you now by putting it there. Classic Vibe 60s Stratocaster with an 1886 Fender made in Japan scratch plate and Alnico 5 pickups. Yes, we know it's a 1986 made in Japan scratch plate, but lovely looking guitar. Lovely. Maybe it's the Hank Marvin fan in me, but I always have a thing for red Strats. Lovely looking thing, mate. And another one of another Classic Vibe Strat from the same chap, Stephen Hedger. An upgraded Classic Vibe 70s Strat with full-size brass trem block, CTS pots, treble bleed, and a new wiring harness. I mean, good workhorse, great workhorse. Who is it? It's Steve Rothery from Marillion, isn't it? He still uses, is it still his number one guitar, Esquire Strat? With a little bit of fettling, they can really punch above their weight, can't they, those Squires? Another one from Tom Clark. This is his Esquire. Never played an Esquire. It's I don't know. I have a bit of a thing about single pickup guitars. Some people are real purists about them. But I just miss the neck pickup. Although you do have the pickup selector, which gives you those sort of that sort of capacitor tone thing, which simulates a bassier sound. But it should be on my bucket list. Really, is to own an Esquire and and just see what I think about it. Don't dismiss it before you've tried it. I'll leave it at that. And then the final one for this week. This belongs to Vincent Brennan, and this is his Cobran. Is it Cobran guitar? He's given us a bit of a blurb about it at the bottom there. Cobran RFG SPL Cobran Chushin Gaki was established by Kei Miyazawa in 1948. They made electric guitars since 1961. They produce guitars sold by Charvel, Jackson, Fresher and Robin from the early 1980s, as well as Ibanez Axstar line in the late 1980s. They also sold original designs under the names of Bamboo, Cobran and Hisonus. If I didn't know what that was, and if I didn't know it was a Cobran, if I just saw that, I would say, yeah, that's an Aria Pro too. Maybe they built guitars for them as well. There's certainly a whiff of Ibanez about that headstock, isn't there? But again, solid little HSS design, attractive looking guitar. It's going to get the job done, isn't it? It's got everything you need. So that is this week's selection. Jay Aoyong is saying, Japanese version of Court, in short. Yes, indeed. Anyway, cheers, chaps. I'm just going to finish off this ale and then pour myself another one. Oh, dear me, it's going down like nectar tonight. Doesn't bode well for how the evening is going to end, it has to be said. So let's pour another one. Then I've got something. We've done your show and tell. I'm going to give you my show and tell next. Because, as you may have seen from the community post that I put up on Wednesday, a tantalising little picture. Back in February, I commissioned James at Agrajag Guitars to build me a guitar. It's based upon the famous Telegib guitar owned by Jeff Beck and built for him by a very young and not at that point famous Seymour Duncan in the early 70s. And I've been lusting after pictures of that guitar in guitar magazines since I first saw it in the 1980s. And I think it's that really that kicked off my twin humbucker Telecaster fetish that you might have gathered I have. Anyway, on Tuesday night actually, I was checking my email on my phone, and there was an email from James at Agrajag, and the subject line was job completion. Oh yes, it's ready. And because he has to kind of pretty much go past the end of our street on his way to the workshop, he said, I'll drop it in for you in the morning. So on Wednesday morning, this arrived. Here we go. The Agrajag Telegib. Here it is. Let's go, as they do in Guitar Interactive magazine, from the headstock down. You can see it says Fender on the headstock. It's not. It's a Fender neck. It's a Fender made in Mexico neck that James has rolled the fretboard edges and refretted with Jescar jumbo stainless steel wire. The original idea was that he was going to make the neck, but when he told me how much money I would be saving by going with a pre-bought neck, I said, let's go with the pre-bought neck. Likewise, we have a Swamp Ash body. Again, pre-bought. I believe this might be, correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, James, a Hosco Swamp Ash body. And before you start thinking, oh, Swamp Ash, boat anchor, this guitar weighs about 7.5 pounds. And we have, round the back, Vanson locking tuners. Again, cost conscious, but they work. 19-to-1 ratio, smooth as silk. They work all day long. They get the guitar in tune, they keep it there. I'm not going to pay extra for having the word go-to or Cluson or Spurzle written on something when there's a perfectly serviceable item that works. If we look at the neck join, this is all James's work. The body didn't come with this neck join here. This is a beautifully sculpted, really ergonomic design, and if you look closely you can see that they're not screw heads, they're Allen bolts that are holding the neck on. The body is finished in true oil. It's got a beautifully tactile feel and it's going to age magnificently. You're going to be seeing this guitar age in real time over the coming years and months on the channel, because it's going to kind of just get that patina here where my forearm sits and everything. We've got a pair of Iron Gear Tesla Shark humbuckers. Why, again, budget? Why didn't you go for Seymour Duncan? Why didn't you go for DiMarzio? Because these pickups are excellent. Okay, Iron Gear Tesla Sharks. They're among probably the best old school PAF style humbuckers you'll ever find. And they're dirt cheap. And a Wilkinson compensated bridge. We've got some clever shenanigans going on with the pickup selector. Where do I need to hold it? We've got bridge humbucker. Then we've got the inner two coils for a kind of pseudo stratty sort of sound. Then both humbuckers. Then we've got the outer two coils for a pseudo telly kind of sound. And then we've got neck humbucker. And there's one other clever little thing going on here, a push-push switch on the tone pot. As you know, my preference is to dial in a dirty sound on the amp and then clean it up with the guitar's volume control. The problem with that is when you want to make a quick transition from clean to dirty, well, I can do that here. All I've got to do is hit that switch and suddenly I'm bridge pickup, full throttle, straight to the output jack, bypassing the volume and tone control. So clean sound, dirty sound, clean sound, dirty sound at the flick of a switch, and it's all there. I am absolutely gobsmacked by the work that James has done on this. I did get a little bit of a discount because, I'm making videos and featuring the guitar. I paid £1,300 for this guitar in total. James actually said $1,250. I said, go away. You're having 13, because put £50 in the Agrajag Christmas charity, Christmas office party fund. So it's about the same sort of money that you'd be spending on a made in USA Fender, a production line guitar, and you're getting custom shop quality for that. It genuinely is an astonishing guitar. You're going to be seeing plenty of videos with that. The problem that you're going to have is that I'm that far ahead with my videos that they won't be going out until September. So let's just have one more look at it. Here it is. A beautiful, beautiful instrument that echoes and is inspired by the Jeff Beck Telegib. I am absolutely over the moon with it. Thank you so much, James. You've made a fat old man very, very happy. And there we go. I'm not going to subject you to my gloating any longer. Plug it in, says Steve Cassidy. Oh no, well I can't. I don't have the wherewithal to kind of route guitars through the live stream. So you'll just have to wait for it, mate. You'll just have to wait for it. Let's see what you've been saying in the chat. Jimmy James, thank you so much, mate. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much. That is very, very much appreciated. Johnny Random saying, so what are you going to call it then, John? Well, that's a no-brainer. It's the Telegib. We'll call it the Agrajag Telegib, but it is my take on it's James's take, his interpretation of the Telegib. Simon Rice is saying, stairway to heaven, please, John. Yes, how to get demonetized in a heartbeat. Anton saying, I've just booked my Strat in for stainless steel refret and refinish with Agrajag, visiting him before Red Carmageddon. Yeah. I mean, just what I would say is that if you have any kind of guitar, and it doesn't have to be, a particularly high-end guitar. In fact, especially if it isn't a particularly high-end guitar. If you've got a guitar that costs you £300, £400, £500, that sort of what's becoming, kind of regarded sadly these days as a budget instrument, which is I still tend to think of budget instruments as being in the £100 to £200 range. But, if you have a guitar that's, let's say PRS SE or Epiphone or lower tier Fender or higher tier Esquire or something of that sort of ilk, right? Take it to a luthier, get a proper fret job done on it. I've got a video coming. One of the top 5 videos is going to be coming in the coming months about 5 reasons to have a stainless steel refret done. But what you get when you take it to a luthier to either do a stainless steel refret or just do, kind of to set it up and fettle it and all that kind of stuff, is you get that level of forensic attention to detail that you only tend to get from, high-end boutique guitars, Core PRS, Nags, Tom Anderson, that kind of thing. So for a relatively small outlay, you can take a guitar that cost hundreds of pounds and have it feel like a guitar that cost thousands of pounds. And it's so, if you've got a guitar, as I say, that's in that sort of price bracket, and you're kind of getting a little bit of gas, a little bit of gear acquisition syndrome, then instead of going out and buying another £300-400 guitar, take it to someone like James or Paul at Milehouse Studios or Sam Deeks or any of these guys and get it properly fettled up. Spend the same amount of money on that, and you will get a much better guitar back than if you just bought yet another kind of budget caster. That's what I'm starting to realise. The difference isn't necessarily in the materials, the quality of the materials. It's in that forensic finishing, that last 5% of what it takes to take a guitar from being good to being phenomenal. That is what I would advise you to do. Anyway, Carl Tom is saying, James at Agrijag worked his magic on my PRSE. It's never played better, and I've had it 20 years. Yeah, he is he's one of those chaps, I don't think he knows how talented he is. This isn't a sponsored stream or anything like that, but he's such a humble guy. And, he's not happy until you're happy. So, yeah, just go and kind of hit him up and see, if you're in the market for something high end, then, and you've got the money saved up, then go and have a word with James and see what he can build for you. Jeff Rock is saying, lovely, John, the AJ JRT2H. Yeah, but that makes that's like the model number of a fax machine. How old am I? A fax machine. It is one of my pet peeves. It's when they give guitars kind of alphanumeric sort of denominations like that. I just prefer a name. By the way, Steve Cassidy, I didn't see you were in there. I just realised you joined us. I didn't shout you out at the beginning. But yes, it will be getting plugged in. It's going to be getting plugged in all. Maybe I should look into this. Maybe we could have a little bit of a blether at some point about how you managed to get your guitar going through your live stream, because it would be nice to do that for you chaps. Red guitar geddon, said John, says Vincent Brennan. Yeah, that's no. It's in my mind now. It is the Telegib. I didn't name it that. It's just that, like, when I met it, that's what its name was. It's like, do you remember that old episode of Top Gear where Richard Hammond had that old Opel car, and he said, "Well, I knew he was called Oliver." I just know that guitar is the Telegib, and that is what it's going to be called. Jimmy James, Telegib, Bee Gees' youngest brother. Searching for Tony Singh, Blethering with Steve, great segment. Yes, we've done a couple of those. Maybe we should do another. I've just filmed an interview actually this week, which will be going out the first week in September. filmed an interview with a BBC radio DJ who once interviewed me, which was fun, turning the tables. It's going to be called something like Confessions of a BBC Presenter. No, maybe I shouldn't kind of call it Confessions of a BBC Presenter. It has certain sort of Hugh Edwards connotations, doesn't it? But if you don't know who Hugh Edwards is, Google him. But yes. But yeah, I do like doing those kind of slightly long form kind of chatting videos. It's it's just they're fun to do because you don't start off with. I don't start off any video with a script, but I usually have some bullet points written down of stuff that I want to kind of mention. But this it was just genuinely let's just talk about what we talk about. Dr. Gomez is saying, Milehouse Studios don't set up guitars. Yes, I'd forgotten about that, mate. Yes, well, take it to Sam Deeks instead. Or take it to Agrajag. Send it to Agrajag. And the only problem getting something done at Agrajag is, as I say, I first contacted James about that guitar in February, and it's the back end of July now, and it's finally here. So, there's a queue, basically there's a waiting list, and, you just kind of take your place in the queue, and James is, he's meticulous, and, if he doesn't, if it's going to make the guitar that 1% better by taking another week, then it's going to take you another week. Let's have a look. Chris Otterwell is saying, congratulations on the birth of your new child. I don't have any kids, but it was a little bit like that, kind of waiting for it, mate. I'm Not Creative is saying, not only does he have Oliver, he even got him a girlfriend, Olivia. Yes, Richard Hammond's workshop. Yes, I saw that, where he got the companion for Oliver. We're talking, Richard Hammond. Steve Cassidy is saying, I was a bit apprehensive about sending my guitar for a refret to Agrajag. Zero regrets. Incredible job. Cheers to Mr. Robson for the recommendation. Well, you're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. There was another really, really talented luthier in Redcar, actually, who sadly passed away in 2011, a chap called Jim Cairns, who previously used to do all the work on my guitars. I'd known Jim since the 80s, and I've got a video coming up on him in the next week or two. Built guitars, did setups and everything, and he was a great guy. So that's a video that's coming up. But now I've found, being lucky enough to find James and his talents, then that's where all my guitars will be going. Anyway, chaps, 59 minutes plus change. It's flown by tonight. Thank you all for turning up, and thank you for all of your support. And it's been a blast showing you my new guitar. And if you have any pictures of your guitars, you know where to send them. jrguitartuition@gmail.com. If you're coming to Redcarmageddon, it's redcarnightout@yahoo.com. And that is where I think we'll wrap it up for today, folks. Thanks for turning up and listening to a fat, bald northern bloke talk bollocks for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.